Notts County talk. It's finished Boreham 1-2, Notts County 2. Quite a difficult game to sort of break down because I feel like as much as Boreham Wood were leading the first half 1-0, it was a long range effort, and I feel like we sort of shown quite large improvements in the first half. Obviously, I missed Saturday's game, so I'm just going off the games that I've seen in the past few weeks where we have been poor. The first half, I thought we played quite well. We were creative. It was a good response after they scored. So for me, the first half was fairly positive, even though we were losing. But then the second half, albeit we scored 2 goals, I just thought we were poor. We came out really, really bad. Giving away just stupid fouls, really. Reeves in the first half, I think it was towards the late end of the first half, maybe it was the start of the second half, just giving away a foul on the edge of our area. And then obviously we've got Sam giving away a foul in our own half that leads to them to scoring a goal. Disappointing because I feel like he started the game quite well. Sam did. He looked energetic, looked like he wanted to make something happen for the team. So I think he'll be frustrated with himself, and it's difficult. It's a difficult game, I think. We chopped and changed the shape, and you could argue that it worked because obviously at the end of the day we were 2-0 down and we've pulled it back to 2-2. So in the grand scheme of things in the game, it's a decent result. On paper though, we Audley said it in his presser today, we're still chasing that first spot. So for me personally, when you look at Boreham Woods, the injuries that they have and their form at the moment and our away form, it's a game we should have won. It's as simple as that. I don't want to sound ungrateful because obviously we've pulled it back and you should be celebrating that. But you look, for me, the second goal we scored to equalise, there was no real celebrations, there were hush celebrations. So that to me shows that we wanted 3 points today and the aim was 3 points. But without further ado, I'll go on to player ratings. Sam Slocum now. A bit concerned about Sam Slocum because since he's come back after his suspension, I just feel like he's not been the same player. He looks really nervous almost on the ball. Playing it out from the back, he's not doing as well. I can't recall him doing a save in that game. So I'm going to give him a 5. He looks a little bit shaky and I feel like he allows himself too much time on the ball, and that just it invites too much pressure. So yeah, I think 5's fair. Probably a little bit low, but that's how it goes. Enzio then, he started off at right wing back, ended up being right back. He's obviously out of position. It's difficult for him, I think, to for a player that's for his near enough his whole career been playing an attacking winger almost, to be put into that wing back position. It takes a lot of time to adapt, and it's not going to happen within one game. I think he did all right, to be honest with you, to say it's his first game that he's done it. He showed traits, I think, this season of being offering more defensively. So I think it was brave of Audley to do it, and he stepped up. So fair play. I wouldn't say he was fantastic, but you can't be expecting him to put in a great display. He's sort of saved us late on then as well when it was 2-2. It wasn't off the line, but it probably would have gone in. It looked like from the camera angle that we had anyway. So I'm gonna give him a 6.5. He's not given too much to the squad today, I don't think. He's not offered loads, but I think in the position that he was put in, you have to take that into respect. So I think 6.5 is fair. Now, I'm going to rate Rawlinson 5.5. I think to concede 2 against, Boreham Wood side that are struggling to get a win at the moment and, string some good performances together, it's not what we would have had in mind at all. I think we'd have been aiming to keep a clean sheet, as you always do going into a game, I understand. But with the magnitude of this game, I feel like we should never have conceded 2 goals. I think same for Ellis as well, 5.5. Quite impressed to actually see, his long throw. I think that is just, adds a bit more depth to the squad in terms of ability, and you're just another threat really for us. So yeah, I was impressed seeing that, but I can't really give him any higher than 5.5. Lacey gets the goal, is in the right position, the ball falls for him, he sort of knocks it in and it hits off the keeper and goes in. But a goal's a goal, they all count the same. So I'm going to give him a 6.5. It's low, I know, because he got the goal, but I just feel like defensively today we just weren't at it. We looked way too easy to get past, I thought. Some of Boreham Wood's players were just sort of strolling past us at times, and expect a little bit more. So moving on to Miller. Personally, if I had to pick one today as my man of the match, I thought he was very, very good on that left-hand side. He was making things happen. He was very energetic. He split Boreham open a few times. So I think when in regards to the team performance today, he was definitely one of the better ones. I'm going to give him 7. I think on reflection, it might be a little bit high, but I do think he played really well today. I feel like if everyone was sort of on a similar level to Miller today, we would have had a better result. So yeah, that is Miller. Ruben Rodriguez, I thought wasn't really in the game today. I thought he was quite poor. He picked up a yellow. It looked like they were trying to get him sent off as well towards the end of the game. Disappointing really, because I want to see Ruben do well. He's one of those where I feel like a lot of the fans will have a weak spot for him because of the way he's come in from Portugal, well, the Dutch league, but Portuguese player, etc. I'm going to give him a 5.5. Didn't really offer much for me today. Doyle, one thing I do remember from Doyle on a positive note was he did a tackle quite late on in the game where the player had basically a free shot and he's blocked the effort, and he's done quite well. But I just feel like our midfield just seem to be getting the basics wrong, and I mean all three of the midfield today. So Rodriguez, Reeves and Doyle, some of their passing was just really off today, and I just feel like they're trying a bit too much. They just need to strip it back a little bit sometimes and just get the basics right before they start doing all these fancy passes and trying to take men on and etc. So Doyle, I'm going to give him a 6. Not great, not bad. Middle of the road performance for me today from the skipper. Reeves, he just doesn't seem to be the Reeves that we were seeing at the start of the season. You know, that fantastic movement off the ball, very creative, not afraid to try a shot. He's just been a bit off colour, I think, the past few weeks. Today, obviously, he's given, I mentioned it at the start of the video, where he's fouled a Boreham player on the edge of our area. It's just sloppy. You know, you expect a little bit more from him. So I'm going to give him a 5.5. And that takes me on to Wotton. A strange one today because he's not really had much of an imprint on the game at all. So I'm just going to give him middle of the road 6. You know, he's not done anything particularly wrong, but I just feel like he's not really got into the game much at all. So I think a 6 is fair. And Eli Sam, I'm gutted for that, to be honest with you. You know, he's gave possession away to Boreham and they've gone on and scored. And I think you could see the frustration within the squad that he'd done that. When the goal went in, you know, Rawlinson was going mad, shouting in his direction. He'll be disappointed because I think he started the game so well. He was one of the standout players in the first half, I think. Really energetic, making it happen. And I want to say as well how good he was at holding the ball up in that first half. Really good. I mean, you could say he was better at Wotton at times, but then he just lets himself down with something like that. And that is one thing that I said time and time again, where he is a good player, but he'll have that moment where he will just switch off and he'll let himself down. And it's a shame because I feel like there's definitely a really good player in there with Sam, but he just needs to start getting it right all the time. I mean, you're not always going to get it right. Let's get it right. But throughout the game, I just feel like he needs to have that sort of switch where he's on it all game and he's really switched on. So I'm going to give him a 5.5. Quite low scores today, but I just feel like the performance reflects it. Another performance that was, it was just dull, wasn't it? It's not very exciting, but I suppose to get a point from a game where it looked like we weren't going to get anything from, you can't really complain. Subs then, I'll go on to Knowles. Nothing from him really today. He's not had a print on the game, so I'm going to give him a 5. And Effiong, I'm going to give credit to Effiong today. He's come on, you know, we've picked up a penalty. It's 2-1. If he misses it, you know, we could score a point. And if he scores it, we obviously take a point. So it's late on in the game. It's a pressurised situation, and fair play to him for stepping up and taking it and scoring it. So I'm going to give him a 7. It takes a player to sort of step up and do that. So fair play to him. And I think there was a few players that wanted the penalty as well. It looked like Reeves wanted it. But if I was to pick a player to take a penalty, I'd give it Knowles personally, because every penalty that he has taken this season, I think he's taken 3. He's scored, so he's probably got the best return rate on penalties in the squad. And O'Brien came on late for Rodriguez, so I'm just going to give him a 5, because, I mean, you can't even really score him, really, because he didn't really do anything in the game. So, yeah, a weird one today, because I feel like we probably didn't deserve a point. There are probably fans that feel like we may have deserved a point. I'm not too sure. Yeah, a funny one today. I thought really strange game, because all of a sudden I felt like we were beaten, and then the next minute, you know, it was 2-2. So yeah, I'd love to know what you think in the comment section below. Please don't forget to like and subscribe.